Guys, welcome. All right, something different today. We are working on my coffee bar area right behind me. So I repainted my dining room area a little while back. I'll show you that in just a second. And I like it so much better. I was using some blues before, and now I'm just kind of muting all my colors down in my house. So I know I'm crazy because I've repainted everything several times. But so we got to address this. I'm gonna well, you can see this is the color that my dining room used to be, and I'll show you that up close in a little bit. And then years ago, my husband and I had done some beadboard down bottom, and I had painted that too to match my colors now. So I'm excited. This is going to get a total makeover. I'm going to switch you guys over here. Let's see. I'm going to try to do this without making you totally sick. You can't see everything, the mess in my house because it's ongoing. So this is what we're dealing with. Maybe this light is too much. Let's see. I'm gonna try to adjust this, turn this little lamp off. Okay, now you can see it a little bit better. This is the color blue. All right, so I'm gonna show you, this is what's up here. My kitchen, typical 1970s ranch style house. I got some pretty paneling stuff up there. You see that? That's a soffit. Okay, so I would love to redo my kitchen. I'm a girl on a budget, so I'm going to have to figure that out one day, hopefully, maybe. So anyhow, there was a whole soffit area up here. You see that space up there? That was a soffit. And then years ago, there were cabinets up here that matched cabinets. Of course, they were brown, stained. We had taken those down years ago when I redid the laundry area in the back. So those had been gone. But my husband and I had made a cabinet here. And so I've got some nice repair work in the walls here. And that was just a white cabinet we had made. So I may have to take down the soffit. Yes, yes. So I've got some ceiling repainting. Oh, y'all, look how nasty that is. So I'm going to fix this wall. I am going to continue the crown molding. You can see over here, see, there is crown molding. So that's going to have to be patched in pretty good, or either get a solid piece maybe and redo that. Okay, we're going to zoom around to my dining room area. This, if you can tell, is like a nice muted blue. And I think this, I'm sure, this is called Sea Glass. Sherwin-Williams. And then the bottom, I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what color that is in a second. Y'all, it's like a green, okay? Tell me what you think of this, of me mixing these. But I think the colors just blend so well. So I think this is a collection. You know, they have those collections now. It's beach, coastal, something other. And this, I believe, is in the collection like a Scandinavian. I'm pretty sure that's what that is, but I'll check that out and make sure for you guys. So anyhow, I'm not going to be painting my coffee bar wall. We're going to be doing some wallpaper. Peel and stick. I'm not doing the old-fashioned wallpaper. And then I am going to be continuing this color on the beadboard area. So I don't want to show y'all my mess in my house. Oh gosh, I got so much going on. We got some sanding to do, so let's get moving all this stuff. This is my coffee bar. Got this from, I think, Hobby Lobby years ago on sale. I still love it. I think it needs to be, it's dinged up a little bit. And the coffee up here has taken some of the varnish off the top. So we're going to redo this. I think we're going to put a piece of plexiglass maybe up here, because right now I have this. I will show y'all my nastiness here. And I do clean this up, but it is severely stained. Under my Keurig, see, I just had this little rubber mat. I'm not sure where I got this from, but it did protect my top here. So I had that, but I think I'm just going to do plexiglass there. So this is my little coffee bar area, and we keep our coffees and teas in here and what have yous. So I love this area. I'm not doing away with it. It makes my husband happy. This little coffee jar and his sugar. And we just got to clean up. So let's get cleaning. See if I can get this under here. Take this out. I might have to reuse this, so I'm not gonna try to be as gentle as I possibly can with it. All right, I have got my, well, it's wood filler, but it's your putty. And then I got my little putty knife here. I'm gonna do the repairs that needed. I'm gonna drop it down here so you can see all those little white spots. There's some holes there. I'm just gonna throw some putty in those spots. Spackling, whatever you want to call it. I guess spackling is correct. But it's best with your putty, that way you can push it in there, your little putty knife, and then you can kind of smooth it out so you don't have a lot of excess sanding to do. I'm bad sometimes, quick jobs, I'll just use my finger and then it just really makes a mess with your finger. So this way you can see me working it in there. I'm gonna push that product into the hole and then I'm gonna run over it to smooth it out and take off the excess. So then when I go to sand, it's gonna alleviate the dust, plus it's gonna make it a lot easier just to make that smooth so you don't have bumps, because drywall, a lot of the sheets in my house, I can tell DIYers did it. I'm not the best at drywall. I've tried drywall. My husband, he made me mud. I'm not good at it at all. You can't see down here, but we did have the piece. I'm gonna have to sand all that real good. It's real bumpy, lumpy. I'm not a good mudder, but I have learned watching people do it. You really just gotta push it in there and then wipe off the excess, and that's gonna help you tremendously. So I was bad about just slapping it and not really taking my time to do this part of it. Very well. So I'm gonna get out my orbital sander again and work on these spots that I can really tell now are bad. Alright, I'm going to show you here. Okay, so years ago when we did the laundry area, the washing machine and the dryer back in the 70s was in this area in the kitchen. I think that was typical. And then we redid the sunroom years ago, so we made a laundry area back there. So we had to patch a piece of drywall in here because this was the opening for the outlets up in here. So we had to patch this, and like I said, I'm not the best mudder, so I just used my sander. Y'all, this is fairly smooth now. We're doing good. So work with your sander, apply your pressure. Not too hard, but a consistent pressure. Your sander's going to find your high spots for you. So that's what all this white is exposed back to the drywall. That's the drywall there with the paint off of it. So your sander's going to find those high spots. I'm going to get this vacuumed up. You see all this paint dust I've got here on the floor. I'm going to get this vacuumed up, cleaned up. We're going to wait for these areas that we patched to dry up. And in the meantime, we're going to start painting the beadboard here. Believe it or not, that green to cover this white, it took me 3 coats. Yes, 3 fingers there. To be 3 coats, so I'm sure it's going to take 3 here too. We're just going to clean this up good before we paint. That's important when you paint. Alright, so this is my paint. This is the color for the beadboard. And it is called Contented. And I was close to being right. If you want to call it that. It is part of the European Countryside color collection. And it says mix and match within that collection. I don't know if you guys use a whole lot of Sherwin-Williams paint. And I feel like the other paints have this choice too, Behr and all. But they do have collections where the colors in the collection are supposed to coordinate together. But like I said, I mixed one of the coastal collections with this collection, and I really like it. So I am going to, I'm not going to film all this, I am going to paint this chair rail molding as well as the beadboard, and maybe later on, I'm not going to show this now, but I will be working on those baseboards just to touch them up white. And it did take 3 coats of this paint to cover it white. I'm not sure why, but it took 3 coats. So I'm going to be working on that. Alright, y'all. We are through painting. We're waiting for some paint to dry here. You can see a couple places there, or right there where it needs to dry. Walls all sanded. I did end up taking down the door mold. You can see here. I'm not replacing it with anything fancy because nothing fancy really would fit there. So it's pretty much gonna look, it's gonna look better than it did, but it's gonna be a standard door molding, I'm guessing. So that'll be for the next project you guys see. But today we're gonna start on some wallpaper. And y'all, look at this. And I'll try to link this down below. This is so pretty. It's got all these colors in here that I love. It's got a blue to match the blue in here, and this green, orange. It's got like a red, a peachy color. It's just loaded with different colors that are just gorgeous. So we're going to be working on that. Okay, I want my wallpaper to be even with the doorway over here because it's just going to be this area that's the focal point, not over. Okay, so I'm just going to use my level to make sure that I draw a straight line over here. And remember, this is the molding, so that's all going to be covered up. But what I do want to do is this side here. I want to make sure I get it even there, so I gotta get closer to it. And my bubble is level, which means level. So there's my line. Now I'm going to have to do some touch-up painting here on this blue color for the rest of the doorway there. We can do that later. We are going to start now on our wallpaper. And y'all, isn't that gorgeous? Couldn't see it a good while ago. But now you can see it. And I am using spatula, and I got to find... I'm using a craft knife, X-Acto knife, whatever you want to call it, to get a straight cut. You can use a box cutter, I'm guessing. It's just, I feel more comfortable with these, or even sometimes I'll just hold the razor blade. I know, y'all, I'm dangerous sometimes, but. So we're going to start at this side because I think this side over here is going to be a little bit of a pain, and we got this to work around, so we're going to have to cut out that too. And we definitely want to get a straight line here because there's nothing going to cover that up. Now, the top and here is going to have something to cover it up, and the sides over there. I think we're going to have to put that molding back, so that's going to cover up that side. So I am just going to let it fall. And we're taking all of this molding down too. I've got kind of a bubble here, so I'm thinking I want to go up a little bit with this. Just trying to make sure I've got this perfectly straight. Your first piece is going to, of course, line everything else up. I hate to waste that much paper. Just hope we have enough. Let's go ahead and take it. I think it's just a crease. I think we're just safe. I'm just going to bring it down. And I'm not going to worry about going all the way up that molding, because like I said, your molding strip is going to be there. So I'm thinking we're just going to start placing here. So get this out of my hand. I just wanted to get a good look. I have no real workspace here. Y'all have to lay this stuff down. But our cuts are going to be here, and of course the light switch there. So I'm just going to go back. I only got one roll. Huh? Oh God, I hope I don't have that.
Y'all, I don't know what your girl was thinking. I ordered one roll of wallpaper. I guess because I had done a full wall in my craft room, and I think it only took 2, but those were big rolls from Lowe's. This is an itty bitty roll. I'm not sure what one roll is supposed to cover. So I have 3 more on order as I am talking right now. So I'm waiting to finish. But y'all, so your first line, make sure you get it straight. That's why I did draw that line up top. I want to make sure that my first row is very straight, because that's going to set the tone for your next ones, okay? So I even put the level on it. You can see here, because this is peel and stick, you've got plenty of play in it. Just peel it up, move it like you need to. Make sure you get any bubbles out, and you can hear the air pop, and you can feel the little bubbles, so make sure you get the bubbles out. I had to adjust it some up top to get it right. And then I had this wall plate, 4 switches here. But I had to work around that. That got a little tricky, because then it wanted to move a little bit up underneath it. But I did manage to get it all laid down good. I had one little wrinkle off to the side, but that's where my door molding's going to go, so I didn't mind that. But make sure you've got this straight. Like I said, I've got 3 more rolls on order. I'm not going to run out the next time, I promise you, because it's going to take like 1 roll per strip. And mind you, we're only going down to a chair rail height here. So if you happen to love this wallpaper, and they had lots of designs that were very pretty, if you happen to love it and you want to order it, it's a very small roll. It's kind of like when you get the contact paper, the drawer liner. That's what it reminds me of. That's about how small it was, y'all. I was able to do a little piece down, but I wanted to do that because I just wanted to make sure that I was able to line this up good, and I could line it up perfect.
I am down. I'm down to the bottom. I want a nice exact line over it. It's got to be exact, because there's nothing to cover it up. So there's no room for error when you get down here. So just want to make sure stay on that molding. You can use the putty tool to push down and to keep you there. Okay, so your putty tool will push down and keep you there. I could find the larger one. I had one that actually came with wallpaper. I had gotten from Lowe's. I have no idea where it's at this moment. So we're just lifting. Y'all, what do you think? What do you think? Fantastic, right? Fantastic. Next one's a breeze. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem lining up. And then from here.
I couldn't stand for that old door mold anymore, so I had to pull it down. Now, I'm sorry this is a little bit shaky, but the best way I could think to show you guys was to take my camera with me. So I am lining up one side first because that's going to be my template, okay? So what I'm doing is at the very corner of the doorway, that's where I'm going to make my mark, and you're going to go to a 45-degree angle going up and out, okay? So that's my mark, and that's set my measurement for the other side. So measure that and do your other side. And of course, it's going to be backwards because you're opposing sides. So just keep that in mind. What I'm showing you here is this sheetrock. Some of it's set out further than the other. So I just took my X-Acto knife and kind of shaved it down a little bit to get it a little bit more consistent. I didn't care about it being perfect, but just wanted a little bit more consistent there. So you can shave the sheetrock down. It is a little messy, but it will shave down. And then I am using my brad nailer here. That's all it takes is something small. You don't need no ginormous nails in this thing. You can use liquid nails if you wanted to, but put a few nails in it, brad nails, and you're good to go. So I've got an edge to line it up with because that's the edge of my beadboard and my chair railing there. So I'm just going to line that up, tack some down there, and then I'm using my level to get it exact up top. Sometimes these boards can warp, but you can move them around, so just keep that in mind as well. But you can use your level. That's what you want to do to make it exact. And then I'm just going to go to the other side and do that as well. Now, once I've got these pieces tacked down, and I didn't tack too much up at the top because I want to work that top piece in first. But then you're going to get your measurement for your top piece, and what you're doing is running to those inside corners, okay? Not the tops, not at the 45-degree angle, but before you started that 45-degree angle. So on the insides down bottom, that's how you're going to measure. So you want to make sure you're accurate here. And then, yes, I did do the cutting myself because I want you, ladies and gentlemen, whoever out there, to know that you can do this. Power tools are not that scary. Maybe the heavy ones, but I love my little compound saw, my miter saw. So if you have a miter box, you can do it by hand. So don't let that intimidate you. That's how I started out when I was making cuts. I hung some crown molding in my house by myself, and I used a miter box. So you don't have to have the big tools. So once you make those measurements on your top piece, just remember that the bottom is going to be your measurement, and then you're going out towards the corner. So I like to draw lines. That just helps me when I get to the saw that I don't forget what's the top, what's the bottom, and which way it's supposed to be doing. You're going to have to turn your saw from one 45-degree side to the next 45-degree side. So just keep that in mind. You're not going to do both cuts on the one side. But you can do this, you guys. It looks so much better to have that on there. I appreciate you guys watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for part 2. We've got a lot more to finish up. Thank you.